Today, we are talking about confidently ending our hypnosis sessions, knowing that our clients have their issue resolved. And I know that we've been taught that it takes, 4 sessions, 3 sessions to completely resolve a client's problem. And that could definitely be true for some people. But what if you can end your sessions knowing that that session is going to completely change your client's life right then and there at that present moment. And if you need future sessions, that it's only going to get better from there. I mean, your client results. So let's talk about this one strategy that is only that is very, very specific to the advanced conversational hypnosis world, which is testing. And so today you'll actually learn the very basic skill sets of testing your clients so that during your next session, whenever that is, you are going to start this process to help you gain awareness as to how important this is. And one of the most important reasons as to why we test is that we want to know whether or not the client's issues are still very heavy or salient in their lives, right? And if we don't test, how are we going to know that, right? And talking about this now, I can't believe I didn't learn this during my traditional training, right? We were not taught this. And we just kind of left the client and went, okay, here's your recording. Good luck. Let me know how that goes, without really knowing if the session was actually successful in shifting the beliefs and the patterns that they came to us with. And so, really, this method of testing is super important because in our trainings with every demo we go through the testing process, and then we see the reason why we test, which is another big knot that the client has comes up. And that knot, we call it knots in ACH, which is really just their thinking very much messed up and added up, right? Because it is so knotted, that knot, if we didn't test it and unravel, that could potentially make our clients' results worse, or it could bring back the symptoms that they have. My chair is like slowly going down. It's really okay. Pardon me. I'm going to keep doing this because this chair has a mind of its own. So testing, testing, testing. So today I'm going to give you the very basic structure of testing, like I said. And so what the two basic ones are situational testing questions and then emotional. So let's go through a scenario of a client who broke up with their toxic ex-partner, and they have this feeling of wanting to go back to that ex, wanting to text the ex, wanting to stalk their social media platforms, and what they really want is to move on and to block that person, so because they're toxic, right? They want to move on, they want to prioritize themselves. This is the client that we're working with. And so you've done the work, you've done through your hypnotic interview, you've done all of the wonderful things of helping a client to release all the pent-up emotions, doing the amazing transformational change work, and then you get to the end, right? You get to the end and you're like, everything seems very good, you feel very good about the session, and then you ask a situational testing question. And what you really want to do is to make it very specific for that client. So based on what your client has told you, either in their intake form or through their strategy call, sales call, or within the session, those are the scenarios that you want to use. That just makes sense, right? You don't want to use your old clients unless you get to the end and you think that might be applicable for client, but that we're going to park that to the side. Let's just get very, very simple and basic here. So ask for the situation. So maybe your client has told you, okay, so whenever I get bored or lonely at every Saturday night, because Saturday night used to be our date nights, whenever Saturday night comes, I have this itch to see what my ex is up to. So instead of blocking him, I start stalking him in my social media platforms. That's what your client has told you, and you've done the work to help them with that. So a situational testing question would be, okay, Saturday night comes, Saturday is a few days away. What do you think you'll do this Saturday night? That is a testing question. Okay. And, and then based on that answer, you will know if your session worked, right? Because if they give you an answer that's like, you know what, Saturday night for this Saturday, I know it's still new. I'm probably just gonna invite my best friend over. We're gonna have a fun time, and this is how I'm gonna deal with my Saturday nights. Like that is a great way. It's starting to show that they are becoming more solution oriented instead of being stuck in their old problem and old patterns. So that is one way. And then the emotional testing question would be, we can use the same scenario actually, and the client says, I'm lonely every Saturday night. I just reminisce the amazing dates we had together, the fun times we had. And so you could ask the testing question of, okay, so what if you do hang out with your best friend and it reminds you of the time you were with your best friend and your ex, that you were hanging out and you're having fun? What are you going to do? What are you going to feel? What are you going to do if you feel lonely when you do hang out with your best friend on Saturday? That is an emotional testing question. We're just testing the emotions to see how they would cope, how they would deal with it. And this lets us know what our client's thinking process is, if that has changed from before. Because what is the transformational work that we're supposed to do? We're changing patterns, right? Behavioral patterns and thought patterns. This is how we know that it worked. And this is how we know we've done a great job. And what we'll find over time is that once we test, the more questions we ask. I personally am a very, very hard tester, a little bit too harsh sometimes, but I want the best for my clients. So once we get to the really, really deep testing questions, it is expected that a lot more of those deeper issues come up. And that is the point, because we want to exhaust everything that has to deal with we want to exhaust everything that has to do with that problem so that it doesn't come back for our clients. It's not just about having the quick results of the client going, yes, I am ready to move on. I really love myself now within the session, and I no longer want to text that ex. Fuck that dude. Like, it's great to have that within the session, right? But also at the same time, testing allows for that transformation to continue on in the future for months and years to come, because we are literally testing. That is really the best word for it. We are testing our client's ability to problem solve when life does bite them in the ass, because it does, right? In life, we get tested. Like that is a fact. There are going to be challenges in life, and we want to make sure that our clients are resilient. That is how we have client transformations that actually last, by testing and giving them more resilience with regards to how they deal with future stressors. And testing is one of the best ways to do that. And so I hope this helped. Situational and emotional, very, very much attuned to your clients and what the specific circumstances that they've given you already are, and utilize that for your testing process. Because trust me, if I didn't test, some of my clients who if their exes would be coming back, and they haven't. And this is really why I'm so passionate about the testing process. And this is really driving me crazy. So I hope this helps. If you have any questions at all, let me know. So testing, as I said before, as you test, you will find newer knots, newer beliefs. And so you must know how to actually deal with that in order for it to work. And if a client fails the test and is still pretty much stuck in that problem, we also need to know what to do with regards to how to do that, right? How do we actually end if a client doesn't pass the test? And so this is something that we go through in very, very great detail inside our advanced conversational hypnosis trainings. And so if this sounds very good to you, definitely take action on it, because even if you don't know the full thing, you can create lasting transformations still. But if you want to go a level further, the ACH program is definitely going to help you with this. So I hope this helped. Test situational and emotional. It gets to be very easy. And let's make a massive impact together, one conversation at a time. See you soon.